All right, collective, I changed my mind. Don't be getting weird. All right, propitious was the word, which means favorably inclined or disposed, gracious, boding well, favorable, auspicious, that favors or furthers, advantageous. Moving right back along. Thank you very much, Spirit, for the word of the day and for the continued education of the collective. A more propitious moment. Any bold action you take now will require tremendous effort on your part. Just as important as knowing when to act is knowing when to return to your inner stillness and wait for more favorable times. So if you're feeling, there are different parts to each of the mystical shaman. The invitation, the medicine, and the essence. So the essence is what the card's all about, and then the invitation would be if you're feeling like you've healed on those specific steps or what that message is pertaining to. An invitation to keep building on that. And the medicine is an opportunity to invite into the space. The whole essence of shadow work is to heal that aspect of yourself. So to be able to say, am I being invited to build upon what I've already built with spirit? Or am I being called to address and take a look at what I'm not necessarily building with spirit, but I'm still doing anyways? And as promised, to give you an example of what can quickly escalate out of your control if you don't abide by Spirit's guidance, if you don't even ask, they might just let you see how you can handle it, and enough suspense the story. So I am separated. And when I was actively married and building things up, the situation where I was living, I was in an RV at an RV park that was more like a gated community that didn't have its own plumbing line because it was too close to a water source, and they didn't want to tap into some of the groundwater area in the sedimentation. So we were left with, if you've ever camped or been to an outdoor RV park, you have sewage usually hook up into the RV, or the RV itself has a sewage storage tank, like a black water storage tank is what it's usually called. And they have these little dollies, like poop dollies, which are known as blue boys. And you can take a blue boy and offload your RV black water tank into a dump site. And that's generally how it works if they don't have a sewage line run in. And it's more expensive to stay. And if you're talking about something like that's either like government or community owned, they're not necessarily going to put the infrastructure in place, especially if it's only for tourism. So it makes sense as to why they didn't have it. Well, let's just say it was the middle of the summer, and a lot of feel-good food was going through the body, between all bodies, and we were doing what nature does. And eventually, one of the toilets, there were two little bathroom sections in the RV. One of the toilets gets full, and it was not me who filled it up and let it overflow and tried to keep flushing it. If there's nowhere else for it to go, those storage lines don't have an outlet unless you drain them. So safe to say the toilet was disgusting. And, the air is going to be taking on all kinds of scents and passing them around through osmosis at all times. It doesn't stop. So it was starting to stink in the RV pretty badly. Like, horridly. And I'm working at the time outdoors, so I'm in the heat in the summer in a southern state in Florida. Probably could have guessed it off the lip read. There you go. Um, so I'm too tired to deal with it when I get back, right? It's constantly pissing me off. Like, it is fouling up my living situation, Trying to go to sleep and have peace of mind in stink shit air is laughably frustrating. And I was losing my mind. Okay? So to deal with this problem, I started to try and figure out what my options were. So I went to Home Depot and got a plumbing snake, which is this big coil, and you unwind it and it'll push a section and bust up things. So I got like a standard plumbing snake, ran it through, pulled it back up, and there wasn't a move, like I'm anxiously awaiting some kind of movement, and I think I mistook like was displaced by the coil as like some level of drainage and got super excited, like, oh, thank God. And no, it didn't move. It just sat there. So I took that, sat on it for a couple days, was thinking, I was like, maybe it wasn't a long enough plumbing snake. So I go back again to Home Depot. I can't return, my conscience is not going to let me return the plumbing snake. It's not happening. So the second one, we're up to like 50 feet now in plumbing snake territory, which is way longer than the RV plumbing system is in and of itself. So my logic mind is like, it's racing around, trying to figure out why it's not working. And same thing, run the plumbing snake through, running it through, I'm like, a couple days go by after it doesn't work, and I'm losing it. Like the stress chemistry of my body at that time was like full on 10. It would have like done anything remotely stupid or like that would have triggered me in any capacity at that time. Like the living situation, like I wasn't breathing oxygen. I wasn't even thinking like that. I wasn't using my brain to its full capacity because I was sleeping in just like probably 30% methane. Like, no joke. I blocked it off with towels. Didn't do anything. So I finally, I grab a plunger and I have a short conversation with myself where I didn't really listen. It was more of like, I'm doing this. I'm pissed. The toilet is taking this ass whooping. No pun intended. And it did. And by it did, I mean I did. Collective, when I say that I used all of my strength, full strokes with the plunger from ceiling all the way back down into the toilet bowl. I mean, like, angrily, just like jamming it in there, like getting backsplashed because there's no flow, there's no drainage. It's not fucking going anywhere except all over me. Fuck in my eyes, my nose, my mouth, my ears, in my beard, all like it hit the ceiling. So the message is until you find your magic little switch, which is how I solved this problem, I gave in. I prayed, I meditated. I basically, I didn't give up, but I let my frustrations defeat my anger, which at the time I thought was my fight. Like, I thought being angry at the time was going to solve the problem. Like, being as angry as I was somehow going to fix the problem, and it's not. The shadow work aspect is to just relax and don't force it, or you're going to shove a bunch of shit everywhere. There was an auxiliary black water tank. Meaning, as much as I drained the main tank and snaked the line to the auxiliary until I hit the switch, which initiated a pump into the main dump tank, it wouldn't have gone in the direction that it would have gone in, and I wouldn't have had to clean all that shit up or have it displaced all over the place, which was disgusting. And I was certainly heated after the fact. But it's still funny. And when you can laugh at it, and if you were to tell that story to me, like, or laugh at me in public about that story, I would probably be laughing harder than you, because it's still to this day, it'll never not be funny. So thank you for that, Spirit, and the messages. Thank you, Collective, for watching. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, whatever you choose to do, whatever you feel guided to do. I don't have donations at this time. I'm working on it. Selfless guy moving into territory of taking back his power. We'll get there. So for now, you're just going to have to enjoy the messages. Until next time.